Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Darkling by Jason Cordova. This is the second book in his Kin Wars Saga. I have read the first book last month, Wraithkin, and I loved it. It was one of my books of the month last month. I had two because I read so many and it was so awesome. And so it was one of my books of the month last month, and it was just a breath of fresh air reading-wise. And I just absolutely loved reading Wraithkin. And I was super excited going into Darkling, and I didn't know if Jason, would lightning strike twice with this series, and it absolutely does. Lightning completely strikes twice. He nails this book, knocks it out of the park, takes everything that was great about the first book, keeps going with it, adds new stuff. It's so good. Some of it I can't even talk about because it's like spoilers for the series. The premise of this series is that there's this kind of empire called the Dominion, ruled by an emperor and a parliament. And the emperor has these elite forces, the Wraithkins, and also has the even more elite force, the Darklings, that work for him. And there's stuff going on in Parliament, and the Emperor is using these Darklings and Wraithkins to go carry out his stuff. And our main character is Gabriel Espinosa, who was a Wraithkin who disobeyed orders but did the right thing. And so he was something happened to him, and he is now a Darkling, and now he is an even better suit, and he's sent to the planet Maelstrom to go and stop it from rebelling against the Emperor. And so his storyline is one of three main storylines, although there is a fourth that kind of populates later on, but one of three main storylines of the Espinosa family. Gabriel is one brother who is the military side of it. You have Andrew, who is the spy side of the family, and then you have Kevin, who is the political side. And certainly the character with the most page time and also the biggest story is Gabriel. And because that's really what this series is about the Wraithkins and the Darklings and stuff. And so in this book, Gabriel is sent to Maelstrom to stop the rebel insurgency, although there's something there that makes it a lot tougher of a job than expected. And it was so well done. I feel like military science fiction, this part of the book was great. But then there's stuff for fans of spy thrillers, because his brother Andrew has been a spy in the government, spying on a member of parliament and doing other spy work for the Jericho group. And his covers are blown, and now he has to try to survive as a bunch of other government forces are trying to kill him. Imagine if we found out that there was like this super secret group within, say, the CIA, the super secret CIA organization, and now that secret group is being hunted down by the FBI. That's kind of what happens here, except they aren't following the law like the CIA and FBI are. They're really just, reckless abandon trying to kill him. And so Andrew is going on the run, and he's also trying to put pieces together of what's happening with these kind of intelligence wars. Then you have the third brother, who's Kevin, and Kevin is a politician. He has the smallest, by far, he has the smallest storyline in this book. But Kevin is an incredibly important, integral role in the book, and when you read it, you find out why. But he is this politician who is truly a good guy, who is trying to do the right thing in government. And in some ways, he's kind of like Mon Mothma in Andor, if you've watched that show, that was also really good. But he's just a good guy who's trying to do the right thing, and his storyline in here was great, and it was so emotional. There's also the character Christine, who I think her name is Christine Day, D-A-I, but when I see that, I think Christine Daae, like in Phantom of the Opera, which I don't know if Jason was going for that, but that's what I read it as, Christine Daae. Anyway, Christine, I'll just go by first name. Christine is a character who is, an agent, a spy agent, kind of like Andrew. Although while Andrew's covers keep getting blown and he's trying to escape and stuff, Christine is kind of on a mystery. She's trying to uncover stuff. And it has to do with the Espinosa family. And that storyline is really in the second half of the book, not as much of the first half. But when Christine's storyline came, it's just so good. The surprises, the shocks. I loved the direction. Jason Cordova just... I can't believe that as an author, he made all the right choices. So many authors, they making these good choices, and then they make choices, and I'm like, ah, man, did you really have to do that? But in this book, like every time he made a bold choice, it was the right bold choice, and it just worked so well. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm on the edge of my seat. I say that with some books, but I was like, I just breezed through this book in a day. I mean, it's not short, it's not long, but it's not incredibly short, but I breezed through it in a day because I was so hooked. I had to know what kept happening. There were so many great twists in this book, so many great surprises, so many great payoffs to promises, so many new promises made. One thing that book one did was not only did it pay off most of the promises made, but at the very end of the book, it made some promises that what book two would do. Book two exactly took those promises and its own promises, paid them off, and then at the end of book two, it makes a few more promises that are great and propels me into reading the next one. Now, I can't just, because of my reading schedule, I can't just pick up book three right now. I wish I could, for two reasons. One is because I have like 10 more books to read this month, and so the second reason is I don't want to have the chance of burnout or the potential, so I'm gonna wait about a month before I read book three. But it's like my most anticipated read now. And this, not only is Jason Cordova becoming a favorite author because I've read 4 books by him, 2 from Baen, 2 in this series from Theogony Press, from Chris Kennedy Publishing, and all 4 books have been fantastic. In fact, I think every book of his I've read has been better than the last. And they've all been fantastic, so that just shows how good they are. So not only is Jason becoming a favorite author, but this series, The Kin War, is becoming one of my favorite science fiction series. It's got everything I love. It's like Timothy Zahn's Cobra series, mixed with some of the Halo storylines, mixed with the Star Wars political themes in both the prequels and in the Andor show, plus a bunch of spy thriller stuff like in Mission Impossible and in Andor again. And and he gets world building. It's minimalistic when it needs to be, and it's detailed when it needs to be. It's perfectly balanced. It is incredible the way that Jason gets world building in this universe in a way that like just works for me perfectly. It's not too detailed, it's not too sparse, it's perfectly balanced. So as you can tell, I mean, I've just been gushing about how much I love this book, and there's so much with like stuff that happens in this book that would be spoilers for it, so I'm just not going to tell you about those. But oh my goodness, the stuff he does with the spoilers in this book are utterly incredible. So absolutely, Darkling gets more than 2 thumbs up. It gets a 9.5. There was one little scene that I felt went on a little too long in Maelstrom, and I was like, all right, let's speed this up, let's speed up Gabriel's storyline a little bit. But that was at like a tiny, tiny moment compared to the greater part of the book. And so that's my one real complaint. But everything else, this worked so well in this book. So Darkling by Jason Cordova is an amazing read. If you have an opportunity, absolutely, I recommend reading it. And so if you've read The Kin Wars, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've read Darkling, what you thought of the twists in this book. And tell me what other similar science fiction books I should be reading. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.